Hey guys, Zeramus555 here, and I'm just doing a deck profile with my friend James. He's going to be showing you guys his Fusion Gate heroes. And yeah, he's just going to be going through the cards, showing what he runs, and telling you why he runs what, and at that number. So here we go.
Hello guys, I'm going to start off with 2 Wild Heart.
Show them the other way, put them the other way around. Yeah, so people can see it.
Basically I run him for being elemental hero as a target for fusion, and for a mass change target for Dian.
Plus he's good against traps.
And good against traps. I run standard, 3 Alius, self-explanatory.
Spark target.
I run 2 Bubbleman.
Oh yeah.
Just because, sorry, they're good to getting your XYZs out and overall bubble ownage. Yes, bubble ownage. Stratos, don't
Staple.
really need to say anything about that.
No.
Ocean, I'm debating running a second Voltic over him.
I would.
I have to get the second Voltic, so he's in there for now.
Yeah.
And then 1 Voltic.
What does he do?
Voltic, if you are able to inflict battle damage, you'll be able to special summon one of your banished heroes and hopefully help you, well, just have a win more situation.
Cool. Alright, with the spells. How many monsters is that?
10.
Okay. It's about
Yeah,
the typical number.
10 monsters. Now I start off 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger E-calls, or like what I like to call recalls.
Total recall. Why do you run 3 and not 2?
I'm only running 10 monsters, and I want to be able to have the most opportunity to get a Stratos in my hand, to get the plussing to start happening. Also
keep them here until you're done talking about the card, and move on to the next one.
I also run 2 Pot of Duality, self-explanatory. If I don't have any E-calls or anything like that, helps me get the combo cards that I need.
Why not 3?
I'm running a 3rd E-call over 3 Pot of Duality, since it's also Fusion Gate, and all the other consistencies in the deck. I just felt 3 was a little overkill.
Yeah, it's a good
Still
call.
testing,
Yeah.
but
no, I think it's a good call. I know a lot of hero builds only, like a lot of people run 3, but I find 3 sometimes is too many. It's kind of a slow card. It's still good, it's just slow.
If you draw more than 1 in each hand, you're sort of, I don't know, there's better stuff. I also run 3 Gemini Spark.
Oh yeah, boy.
Also self-explanatory. I mean, who doesn't like blowing something up?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's funny. Why not blowing something up and getting a draw off it? Great card.
Yeah.
Love it.
Quick play.
Quick play. Self-explanatory. Also, I run 3 Fusion Gate.
Why do you like Fusion Gate so much?
I find that it gives me the opportunity to get my fusions out faster, especially if I don't have anything else out on the field or in the graveyard. Testing it overall on a competitive level, I'm still deciding which way I'll end up going. Still love the card, but right now I'm running 3.
Do you find this version has a better matchup against certain decks than the typical hero build? Because I know that Dark Worlds have a really good matchup against heroes, and I can see this card actually being really, really good against Dark Worlds.
The nice thing about it is that since Dark Worlds I find is so fast, you know, pretty easy for them to get out. They're big monsters, big boss monsters. If I don't, again, have anything in the graveyard or anything else set up, and I just have cards in hands, especially if it's an all-monster hand with this, it'll help me overcome the challenges that a Dark World could have. So,
cool.
Yeah, love the card.
I think if you're on Fusion Gate, you have to run 3 anyways.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen a hero.
Inconsistent.
Yeah, if you didn't run 3, it'd be kind of weird.
2 Miracle Fusions. Case stuff, I guess, destroyed by battle or Torrential Tribute or Mirror Force or anything like that in the graveyard. Helps me grab it.
Why just 2, not 3?
Since I'm already running 3 Fusion Gates, I'm also running 2 Mask Change.
Cool.
So these 2 cards combo so well with each other, and even running a Fusion Gate with Mask Change. I mean, the simple but brutal combo, if they have nothing to stop it, 0 into Acid. Can get you multiple pluses, if not game. So
is Acid just your opponent's back row?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I run there.
Why just 2?
3 would be
too much.
Too much.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think so.
I've thought about it, and if I was to run 3, I'd run 3 Miracle Fusion, 3 Mass Change,
and no Fusion Gates.
and no Fusion Gates.
Okay.
So it'd be a little bit slower of a build.
No, I think you got a
but
good
it'd
number here. I
be-
think 2 and 2 is actually really good.
Yeah. Thank you. Then for
2 MST.
quick plays,
Back row hate.
MSTs, back row hate, or like
Well, only 2 because you have
safe
to.
zone. I was gonna run 3, but once you start adding all the spells and traps and monsters up, room in the deck, it's pretty tight.
Thin, yeah. Plus you have the Gemini Sparks anyways. So.
Sparks, I do run Heavy Storm, so
Yeah.
I got multiple destruction effects. If not, there's 0, and Acid.
How do you feel with this card? That you're like this card with running Fusion Gate in the deck.
Fusion Gate, you're not always going to have one in your hand. You're not always going to have multiples. So
But I mean, like on the field, like say you have Heavy Storm or Fusion Gate.
If you top decked Heavy Storm with Fusion Gate, most chances are you just hold on to it for a little bit, because your opponent's going to be wanting to destroy your Fusion Gate pretty fast. That way you don't start getting major advantage on them. So if they do that, and they'll usually try and set some back row hate, just so they could try and get advantage again, wipe their field.
The one thing you might not have mentioned was that Fusion Gate actually, once it's on the field, and if you use it to special summon, you can't actually warning. You can still bottomless and compulsory and stuff the monster, but you can't actually warning the monster because it's being summoned through a card effect that's already been activated. So that's another reason why Fusion Gate's actually really, really good.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pretty awesome card. I also run Reinforcement of the Army.
Yep, staple.
Get those Stratos, or if you don't have Stratos available, get your Neos Alius. Future Fusion. 4 Absolute 0 in general.
Why do you like this card here? I've noticed a lot of hero players don't run this. I run it personally. I think it's too good.
Well, if you're going to be running a deck that has Miracle Fusion, and you draw this and Miracle Fusion in your opening hand, plus some back row hate and a Stratos, or even,
Well, that's just the nuts.
you know,
but-
like,
But
it's
you
ju-
can
it's
you can
just-
open up with this in future or a Stratos pretty consistently.
It's a pretty fast, helps speed up the deck, I guess.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's one of the things I've noticed with heroes. I mean, you've talked about is that it's if you don't, this just helps get stuff in the graveyard for Miracle Fusion, because you can get those really bad hands. You open up with just like one Alias and you're not drawing any other cards.
And the other thing, I mean, one of the best top decks in this deck is going to be a Miracle Fusion.
Yeah.
If I'm using Fusion Gate, you know, and Miracle Fusion, if I put 2 monsters on the field, they're all going to be banished. I'll have no targets for Miracle Fusion, so it'd be useless.
Yeah.
You know, this just helps increase the chance of being able to have one of the best top decks in the game and help you win.
Totally. Cool.
Pretty self-explanatory. Monster Reborn.
Reborn's Reborn.
You know, it's
OTK with Stratos.
exactly.
The Bubbleman. I know we just talked about this, but why aren't you running Dark Hole?
I find Dark Hole is...
Because heroes have a hard time, if you don't have the Sparks or the Hero Blast, they have a hard time getting around stuff like Spirit Reaper and Gel and Duo Marshmallow cards like that. So obviously Dark Hole lets you kind of wipe the field, and
True.
plus you get your Shining's effect.
I mean, one like Reaper, it's a great stall card. I mean, everyone, I don't care who you are, says, you know, it's a great card no matter who you talk to. Dark Hole, I dislike it because it's a one of card, and this deck runs multiples of lots of cards. There's only 4 spells in my actual spell lineup that aren't multiples of anything. So for space in general, if it was finding a really hard time, I'd rather pick a Monster Reborn over Dark Hole any day. You get your plus off Stratos. I'd rather pick a Future Fusion over Dark Hole, sorry, to help get you know, the best top deck in the game. I'd rather pick.
But you don't feel like you have room. Well, no, Rhoda's Rhoda. You have to run Rhoda. But I mean, like, you don't feel there's anything else that you could take out?
The only question that I would have to take out would be a Heavy Storm.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
You know, and in this deck, I mean, you know, it probably would make a lot of sense, but it's just preference in general. And having, you know, bring out a Stratos when they have a Reaper, you know, going to Acid, pop their entire field. You know, it's pretty easy combo to do once you get going. And a lot of the other times too, I mean, there'll be other cards that I will have, like Spark, like
yeah, Dark Hole's is good though, because
Blast.
it's always a 1-for-1, and it's even like you can plus off of it if you have the Shining on the field.
Very
and
true.
then you just add those back to your hand with your Fusion Gate up, and then you just bring them back out again.
So between Dark Hole and Heavy, that's going to be a huge
You just gotta test it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a pro
You do have a
player
lot
at all.
You do have a lot of back row hate. Like, I don't even run Heavy Storm at all my heroes. I just run the Gemini Spark. And you're running the 3 Gemini Sparks, the MSTs, the Acid, basically, and the Heavy Storm, which I think is really good. But
so if you guys want to comment about it, let me know what you think, and help me decide, you know, what would be a better decision.
oh, they'll comment, all right. All
So
right, on to the traps.
I'm going to start off with Hero Blast.
Oh, yeah. Why just 2?
Room.
Yeah.
You know, I run.
Have you ever thought about running 3?
Yes. And what, you know, I've tested it actually quite a bit, and the conclusion I found, if I ran 1, I'd never see it. 3,
Yeah.
I'd have either all my Neos Alias still in the deck or banished. So then I got a dead card.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think 2 is a gold number.
Running 2 is just, it's a perfect combination. I haven't felt better with 3 or 1. 2 just seems to be the best.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Um,
I don't think I'd ever run 3. I've been thinking about it, but I don't think I ever would.
No.
I'd probably end up taking 1 out again.
If I'd run 3 if I had a bigger monster lineup. And probably I'd run 3 in a beat deck. But well, mine moves quite fast. So almost having 3 would be just either a dead draw or...
Yeah, this card is really good against Insectors, but would you ever side the 3rd one, or are you just not worried about it?
Yeah, so how my side deck actually looks and how I've been playing it on Dueling Network...
Oh, sorry guys, phone.
...is I'll actually side into more of a beat style deck. So in which case, Insectors, or something where I feel I need to have more control of, it really, really helps.
Cool.
So, 2 in the main, for sure. And then I have 2 warnings.
Staple. Nothing to say there.
Self-explanatory.
Do you still like this card now that Priority's gone? Do you think you still have to run it?
Yeah, I mean, Priority gone is a great factor just because there's so many pesky effects that can do. But at the same time, there's still a lot of cards, monster cards out there that... you know, the priority didn't even hit.
Yeah,
and
traps,
spells, and traps, you know. So, I mean, it's just one of those cards that's just great all around. I mean, you know, if you're playing 6 Samurais, why would you want to have them put the Shion on the field? Or any boss monster.
Yeah, as a Samurai player, I can honestly say this is the one card that I'm always afraid of. I'd rather see you Judgment my Xian and pay 4,000. That I can come back from. But if you warn the Xian, it sucks. All right.
Yeah, or even if you're in a mirror match, you know, they try to do the absolute zero acid if they're planning to do the absolute zero acid combo.
Well, all you gotta do is just warn in the Miracle Fusion, and the whole thing stopped.
So it's mirror matches. It's a great card.
I still think it's too good, personally.
You know, going up against Insectors or anything like that, it's just a pretty great card to have overall. I have a card here that most people might be sort of like, what? But I use Dark Bribes.
I like Bribe.
You know, a lot of people diss the card, but you know, it's so underrated. If you're in a winning position and they want a judgment or they want a warning something, if they want to pay 2,000 or 4,000 life points, draw one card, chances are, if they're also in that state, it's not going to help them out anymore anyways, and it's able to hit traps and spells.
Yeah.
How can you go wrong there?
No, I agree. I really like Dark Bribe. I think it's a good card. A lot of times too, when you give that person extra draw, a lot of the times they're not going to be drawn to something like anything that as good as the card they were probably going to be playing. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's you know, spell speed 3 as well, so it just hits so many good cards. I mean, I love it.
More heavy storm protection too.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even MST protection if you need to protect that fusion gate.
Exactly. I mean, fusion gate plus one of those down, maybe a warning. That's a pretty solid defense. I also run
Judgment's Judgment.
Yeah.
Nothing more to say than that.
It's been one of my favorite cards since I've started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I also run one Compulsory.
How do you like that?
I'm debating over either running 2 Torrential or 2 Compulsory.
When I saw your build originally, when I saw it on your phone there, that's actually what I was thinking. Was I saw the Compulsory and I was like, oh, he should be. I was like, why isn't he running 2 Compulsory? But then I thought about it more and more, and like, this is really good with Shining and Absolute Zero. Well, Absolute Zero doesn't really do as much, but Shining at least. But this, one of the cards that this deck has a hard time, heroes in general have a hard time getting around, is Zenmain's Gotchi, and now that new flippy Maestroke guy. So I actually think this is good. I think the one Compulsory is actually really nice tech.
And a lot of the times, I mean, I'll even get both of these cards in my hand, and if you have a war or a Judgment down or Dark Bribe, I mean, you're pretty set. So that's my deck, guys. I hope you thought it was interesting, and please give me comments, positive criticism, and I'll show you guys my Saber deck next time. Thank you.
All right, guys, that's Zeramus555 signing out, and that was James showing off his hero deck. Hopefully you guys liked it. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and make sure to just let him know what you thought of the deck. So anyways, peace.